It's one of those days where being an Eagles fan just feels different. You can sense the energy in the city, the buzz that spreads from South Philly to the suburbs, all because of what this team just pulled off. Every season we hear the same talk around the NFL trade deadline. Rumors, whispers, the endless speculation about who might land where. But this year felt louder, heavier, like something big was brewing in Philadelphia. Turns out, there was a good reason for that feeling. Because honestly, this might be the most active trade deadline the Eagles have ever had under Howie Roseman. The man was on fire, moving pieces like a chess master who already knows the endgame. Before today even started, the front office had already pulled off 3 trades that had fans talking nonstop. Earlier in the week, they brought in slot cornerback Michael Carter from the Jets, adding some serious depth to the secondary. Then they went and grabbed cornerback Jair Alexander from the Ravens, tightening up the coverage even more. And just when people thought they might be done, they shocked everyone by landing edge rusher Jalen Phillips from the Miami Dolphins, a move that instantly made this defense scarier than ever. 3 trades before the deadline even hit, and none of them were small ones. Every single deal seemed like part of a bigger plan. And out of all those moves, the one that really set the city on fire was the addition of Jalen Phillips. You can feel that this guy's about to become a fan favorite the moment he steps on the field. The reaction online said it all. His arrival photo in Philly, the Instagram post saying, "Philly, what's good? Excited to get to work and grateful for the opportunity to play for such a storied franchise. Go Birds." That's the kind of message that makes Eagles fans go crazy. You can tell he's not just saying the right things, he actually means it. And when he landed in Philadelphia, his excitement was all over his face. No hesitation, no shock, just that look of someone who knows he's where he's supposed to be. During his first interview after the trade, Phillips couldn't stop smiling. He said there was no other team he'd rather play for, and that line alone probably earned him the city's respect instantly. He talked about how much he loves the Eagles tradition, how honored he feels to join a team that's built on toughness and unity. And when asked what he's going to bring to the defense, he didn't sugarcoat it. "I'm going to work my ass off," he said. "I want to earn the respect of my teammates and the fans. I'm coming here to fly around and make plays." That's exactly the attitude Philly loves, a blue-collar mentality mixed with elite talent. And there's something poetic about his reunion with defensive coordinator Vic Fangio. They worked together before, and Phillips made it clear that Fangio's system brings out the best in him. He knows the scheme, he trusts the coach, and he's hungry to prove that he can dominate again, this time in midnight green. The chemistry between the two could be the spark that takes this defense to another level. Because let's be real, the Eagles have talent all over the field. With guys like Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, and now Jalen Phillips lining up on that defensive front, opposing quarterbacks are going to have nightmares. The stats speak for themselves. Phillips has been a menace to offensive lines this season, leading all Eagles linemen in both pass rush win rate and pressure percentage. That means when he's coming off the edge, he's winning almost 1 out of every 5 matchups. That's absurd. He's tied for first in the league in hurries, and when you break down the tape, you see why. His combination of power and finesse is rare. He doesn't just rely on effort or lucky breaks. He's got real technique, real moves that he's mastered. The club and rip, the arm over, the inside counter. He knows how to execute each one like a pro who's studied his craft. And here's the crazy part. He's only 26 years old. Still young, still improving, and still with so much upside. Fangio knows what he can get out of him because he's seen it before. Back when they worked together, Phillips was a force, 6.5 sacks in just 6 starts before that Achilles injury slowed him down. Now he's healthy, motivated, and stepping into a defense that's built perfectly for his style. It's one of those situations where everything just lines up: the player, the coach, the system, the timing. And that's why fans are buzzing. Even analysts are calling this one of the sneakiest, smartest moves of the entire deadline. Think about it. The Eagles didn't give up major draft capital, and even if Phillips ends up being a short-term rental, they'll likely get a compensatory pick if he leaves in free agency. So either way, it's a win. But if he performs the way he's capable of, you can bet the front office will do everything possible to keep him in Philly long-term. It's the perfect low-risk, high-reward move that Roseman seems to pull off every single season. And beyond Phillips himself, this bye week couldn't have gone better for the Birds. Not only did they make these huge additions, but just about every other contender in the NFC took a hit. The Cowboys, the Lions, the Giants. All of them dropped games that helped the Eagles build an even stronger lead in the standings. The timing couldn't have been better. It's like everything fell into place exactly how Philadelphia needed it to. The rest of the conference is scrambling, trying to keep up. Dallas tried to make noise too, trading for linebacker Logan Wilson and later for defensive tackle Quinnen Williams in a shocking blockbuster move. Sure, Williams is a star, nobody's denying that, but the Cowboys had to give up a ton to get him. 2 high draft picks and a former first-rounder in Motzie Smith. It's a bold move, but it doesn't exactly fix their issues overnight. Meanwhile, the Eagles keep finding value, stacking their roster without mortgaging the future. You can feel the contrast between the two franchises right now. Philly looks calculated, confident, like a team with a vision. Dallas looks desperate, swinging big because they know the gap in the division is growing. And while the rest of the NFC is busy trying to figure things out, the Eagles are sitting comfortably at the top, adding pieces that make them even stronger. And that's what makes this trade deadline so exciting for fans. It's not just about the names or the stats. It's about what this all means for the identity of the team. The Eagles aren't satisfied. They're not content with being good. They're trying to be great again. That hunger is exactly what separates a team that wants to win from a team that expects to win. And when you see how these players talk, how they carry themselves, it's clear they believe in what they're building. Jalen Phillips embodies that mindset perfectly. He's not just another addition. He's a symbol of what this defense is becoming. A fast, physical, relentless unit that's going to make life miserable for opposing offenses. When he steps onto the field with Carter, Davis, and Smith beside him, it's going to be chaos in the best way possible. Eagles fans know what that means. The FlyEaglesFly chant is about to hit a whole new level of volume this season. And just imagine Lincoln Financial Field the first time Phillips breaks through the line and brings down a quarterback. That roar, it's going to shake the city. You can feel it already. The anticipation, the pride, the belief that something special is brewing again in Philadelphia. Because every time Howie Roseman makes a move like this, it's not just about building a team, it's about setting a tone. The Eagles aren't chasing anyone. They're leading the way. As the dust started to settle after that wild trade deadline, the picture across the NFL began to shift. For the Eagles, everything seemed to line up perfectly, but for the rest of the league, things got complicated. This was one of those rare weeks where every little detail fell Philadelphia's way. While the Birds were resting and recharging during the bye week, other teams were falling apart. You could almost feel the satisfaction across Philly as the scores rolled in. Dallas stumbled again. The Lions got caught slipping. The Giants couldn't keep up, and the Commanders were hit with injuries that could derail their entire season. It was the kind of weekend that every Eagles fan dreams of. The team doesn't even play, and somehow they still win big. But let's start with the Commanders, because man, what a brutal night for them. Losing Marshawn Lattimore to a torn ACL was bad enough, but the real gut punch came when their franchise quarterback, Jaden Daniels, went down with one of the most painful-looking arm injuries you'll ever see. You could tell right away it was serious. Even rival fans had to wince watching that replay. No matter who you root for, nobody wants to see a young star go down like that. It's one of those moments that reminds you this sport can be absolutely unforgiving. And without Daniels, the Commanders' season feels all but over. Sitting at 3-6, they're in that dangerous middle ground. Too far to compete, too early to rebuild. Meanwhile, the Cowboys aren't exactly in great shape either. Sitting just barely above .500, they're desperately trying to stay in the race, but it's starting to feel like they're running in quicksand. They made a few moves that turned heads, but not necessarily for the right reasons. Trading for linebacker Logan Wilson might help them a bit in the short term, but it's hardly a game changer. Wilson had a few solid years in Cincinnati, but this season, he just hasn't looked the same. The Bengals had even benched him at one point, which tells you everything. Dallas is hoping he can bounce back in a new environment, but that's more of a wish than a plan. Then came the shocker. The Cowboys sending Motzie Smith, a future second-rounder, and a future first to the Jets for Quinnen Williams. Now that's a big swing. Williams is a top-tier defensive tackle, no doubt about it. When he's locked in, he's a force, strong against the run, explosive as a pass rusher, a player who can change games. But it's also a risky move. Giving up that much draft capital means they're all in right now, and that's a dangerous place to be when your team still has major holes. And it raises some interesting questions too. Why pay big money to both Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams while letting Micah Parsons walk away? Parsons was the heart of that defense, the guy offenses feared the most. Replacing that kind of impact isn't easy, no matter how good Williams is. It almost feels like Dallas made a flashy move to prove they were still in the mix rather than because it actually fit their long-term vision. On the flip side, Philadelphia didn't have to do anything crazy to stay ahead. Their front office played the long game, and it's paying off. They didn't chase after overhyped deals or throw away future picks. Instead, they added the right pieces at the right price. Howie Roseman once again showed that patience and precision beat panic every time. You can tell the whole organization believes in what they're building. They're not reacting to what other teams are doing. They're setting the standard everyone else is trying to match. And while Dallas was making headlines, the rest of the league wasn't quiet either. The Titans moved Draymond Jones to the Ravens for a fifth-round pick, another solid depth move that could have easily gone to the Eagles if they hadn't already landed Phillips. But the biggest bombshell outside of Philly had to be the Jets shipping off star corner Sauce Gardner to the Colts. 2 first-round picks and wide receiver Adonai Mitchell went the other way, which is massive. That's a blockbuster deal if there ever was one. A lot of fans in Philadelphia probably wondered why Howie didn't go for it. But it makes perfect sense when you look at the numbers. Sauce is elite, but that contract would have been almost impossible to fit under the cap. Not to mention, giving up 2 firsts would have been way too steep for a team that already has several young corners developing. For the Jets, that trade screams rebuild. 3 first-round picks in one day is a clear signal they're looking to the future. For the Colts, though, it's a huge move. They're betting big on becoming contenders again right now. And for the Eagles, it's just another reminder that their biggest threats in the NFC are starting to emerge in Seattle and maybe San Francisco, not in New York or Washington. Speaking of Seattle, they weren't done either. The Seahawks added wide receiver Rashid Shaheed from the Saints, and that move quietly makes their offense a nightmare to defend. Geno Smith has been playing some of his best football, and giving him another weapon like Shaheed just makes them more dangerous. It's not great news for Philadelphia, but it does make the conference more interesting. Because at the end of the day, competition is what brings out the best in this team. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments, and let's talk birds. Whispers are starting to echo through the city of brotherly love, and Philly fans might want to brace themselves. The chatter that has taken root in local sports circles and online forums is impossible to ignore. Jalen Hurts, the young quarterback who has become the heart and soul of the Philadelphia Eagles, could be on his way out. While nothing has been confirmed, sources close to the team hint that talks have begun that might lead to a seismic shakeup at Lincoln Financial Field. Hurts, who has dazzled with his dual-threat capabilities and leadership on and off the field, has been a symbol of hope for the Eagles faithful. Yet, whispers suggest that contract negotiations, coupled with Philadelphia's ever-evolving roster strategy, could be pointing toward a departure that would leave a void in the quarterback position. Insiders say management has been exploring all options this offseason, and Hurts' name keeps surfacing in trade speculation circles. The potential exit of Hurts would mark a turning point for a franchise that has invested heavily in his development. Fans have grown attached not just to his on-field heroics, but also to the persona that embodies grit, resilience, and the city's blue-collar identity. Social media has already begun buzzing, with some calling for the team to do everything possible to keep him, while others speculate about which franchises might be the likely landing spots for one of the league's most dynamic quarterbacks. Meanwhile, Philadelphia's locker room dynamics are reportedly tense. While teammates publicly express unwavering support, behind the scenes, murmurs of uncertainty and frustration have started to emerge. The Eagles' front office has remained tight-lipped, adding fuel to the rumor mill, which now operates at full speed. Analysts suggest that a move of this magnitude could reshape the NFL landscape, sending shockwaves through divisional rivalries and affecting draft strategies league-wide. For now, the city waits. Eagles fans, who have celebrated Hurts' rise from underdog to star, may soon be forced to confront the possibility of saying goodbye. Whether it's a trade, a surprise free agent signing, or a stunning contract extension that keeps him in town, one thing is clear. Jalen Hurts' future in Philadelphia is the hottest topic in sports circles this week, and the rumor mill is showing no signs of slowing down. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.